What's good? Woo! I gotta get hyped here because otherwise I'm gonna fall asleep. My water bottle is leaking. I just spilled water all over my lap. Fantastic. Carlos with the super chat. Question posted on Discord. I will check that out immediately. Thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Appreciate it. Alright, let's get the pop outs up here. Because of course we need that. Let's see. So everything works here. Almost. Make it slightly smaller. Perfect. Alright, let's check out Carlos's question on Discord. And then we'll talk about a lot of stuff today. So today we have a bunch of things planned as always. Team submissions will be done as always top of the hour, so in 1 hour time. If you want a chance, I should say, to have your team rated or live on stream, you can post your team in the team's submissions channel on Discord. New for this week is that if you are a member, there is a separate members only exclusive channel on the Discord where you can post your team, and I will be looking there first. So if you want to guarantee that your team gets rated, no matter how meta or unmeta it is, make sure to become a member. It's literally the cheapest I could set it at, so it's less than a coffee a month. But I don't want to advertise that too much. Just last week we got so many submissions that I physically cannot get everyone's submissions through. We also have a bit of a system going where I can scan them easier and see who has the same team and who doesn't. So hopefully that will go better. We're going to talk about the meta team. We're going to talk about Limitless. We're going to talk about the best transfer to make, the best drivers. We're going to look at simulations. All of that good stuff. I'm going to lock in my my transfers because I still have not decided what to do. Actually, at this point in time, I know the strategy I'm going with. I just haven't figured out the precise driver I'm buying, and the pop out from Mayank in your bottom left sort of explains this. I mean, I don't have Duan, but I think it's very similar what type of drivers we are all looking at. So we're going to look at all that. First of all, though, we're going to look at Carlos's question on Discord. Thank you so much for the super chat, Carlos. Is it in the regular chats? Or is it in team submissions? Let's see here. I cannot see it on Discord yet. Or did you DM me? Nope. Carlos, which server did you put it in, or which chat? The team sub? Okay, gotcha. Team submissions, and are you the C ... I would assume. I need to reload my Discord so I can turn off stream mode. Rob, sup king, I'll be darting in and out of your stream as I won't be streaming today. Oh, thank you so much, man. You're welcome to hang as long as, or as little as you want to. I'm gonna assume it's this one. Is it this one, Carlos? Is it this one? Kabotore. Yeah, I can only see the C . I can't turn on streamer mode for some reason. So I would assume it's this one. Music too loud? Gotcha. I'll turn it down. Thank you for letting me know. Alright, I'll check it out. Okay, 12 teams private league for the money. I know how that goes. Current budget is 102.8 on the lower side. 3 transfers. Thinking of continued budget building and just making 1 move for the race to have 3 for Miami. Thoughts, what do you recommend? Okay, so since you have 3 transfers, you can actually make 2 this race. You have very similar team to me, but you have Piastri instead of Norris. So I think that's very reasonable to continue budget building with this budget. I would definitely suggest listening to what I have to say later with like, okay, I probably Stroll has to go, right? Stroll is probably the weakest link budget building wise. You stick with Haas for this team. You stick with Haas for this race. Maybe consider limitlessing in Miami, or you limitless in Imola, and then after you've used the limitless, that's when I would switch to some more of a meta team. So if you're budget building, I think this goes for everyone, not just for Carlos. If you're still on a budget building strategy, I think your goal right now is to budget build until the latest Imola, right? Because in Monaco, budget building will not work at all. So in Monaco, you either need to pop the limitless, and then after that, I mean, it's too late then. So, I think for sure the strategy, if you're on a budget building strategy and you want to focus on someone like a Haas or something like a Haas, a V-Carb or an Alpine, I think you do it now up until maybe Imola, and you probably limitless either today in Miami or in Imola would be my guess, just to get that out of the way and at least get some points on the board. So that would be my strategy, Carlos. But honestly, with this team, I would get rid of Stroll for probably Gasly, since you have the budget for it. And then, I mean, Ocon is just so good anyways. I don't know if I would want to get rid of Ocon. And then that's probably the best budget. Sorry, that's probably the best budget building team you can build, because budget building doesn't look super strong here. Also, Radio Paddock with the super chat. Thank you so much. No message though. I appreciate that. All right, thank you so much for the super chat, Carlos. We're gonna get back to team submissions in some time, but now I want to talk about the meta team. Right? We have to talk about the meta team. I'm good, Sancho. I'm good. We have to talk about the meta team. So. Hopefully he throws on my differential above. I will, again, all team submissions will be done in 48 minutes time. You was considering Limitless this race? Limitless is fine this race, just that Stroll is not amazing for it. So, Limitless is definitely possible for your team in this race. At least you have Piastri. Like, I cannot Limitless with this team because Lando Norris is not good enough, in my opinion. Can you be a bit more consistent about your distance from the mic? Sure. I can put it here and then try and not lean back. I'm very, how should I say it? I'm very, is flamboyant the word? I move a lot. I gesticulate a lot with my hands and my body when I speak. So I apologize if I scream into your ears. I will move it here. I'm animated. That's a really good word. I'm energetic. Thank you. So I'll try my best, but I can't promise anything. That's part of the package. So let's talk about the meta team, because I think a lot of people are on the meta team, and I think the meta team is still strong. And if anyone asks later in the stream, I'm gonna direct them to, what would it be? I started 5 minutes before, so like 14 minutes into the stream to talk about this now, so I don't have to repeat myself for 2 hours straight, because I feel like this is going to be the everlasting question, right? If you are on this team, I would assume that you don't have transfers in the bank. This team has it, of course, because I'm not on this team. But a lot of people even took hits to get to this team last week. If you're on this team, there's a very, very simple thing that you do this race. Number one, you only use one transfer, because 3 transfers will be very important in Miami. So you have a lot of flexibility with what to do, considering we don't know what's going to happen to budget building assets in Miami. So that's number one. You only use one transfer. Number two is, which one of these drivers do you transfer out? Well, it's either Jack Doohan or Ocon. I think Piastri, Behrman, Hadjar, McLaren, Mercedes should be on everyone's team, unless you're one, budget building, and specifically building a team for budget building and knowing that you're going to lose points in this race, or 2, using the limitless. I think this team is the must-have team, and the great thing about this team is that I think that everyone at every budget can afford this. It just depends on which driver you have to add, right? Some people have to put Gabriel Bortoleto in here to afford this, but I think a lot of people can just afford this with some good assets in there as well. The question then becomes, which driver do you add with these? Which drivers do you add in here? And I would say if you had Ocon and if you had Doohan, you only transfer out one. And the options, let me do this. So the options that you realistically can afford is Lance Stroll and downwards. I don't think Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz is not an option this week, for sure not. Maybe in Imola and beyond once he's dropped down to like 9 million. Carlos Sainz will be a fantastic option for our teams, but for now, Carlos Sainz is in the void, and Albon is too expensive to afford with this type of team unless your budget is crazy. So I'm gonna go from Lance Stroll downwards. I don't think Lance Stroll is in the top echelon of drivers to pick from, but I think you have Pierre Gasly, you have Esteban Ocon, you have Liam Lawson, Hulkenberg is in the void, you have Fernando Alonso, you have Jack Doohan, and Gabriel Bortoleto. That's 6 drivers, so I can't even fit them all on here, but you have 6 drivers to choose from. I'm gonna not put Liam Lawson on here, just know that he is kind of an option as well. It's just that he doesn't look great for budget increases this race, but he could be good after this race. But apart from Behrman and Hadjar, which should be on everyone's team, these are the drivers to choose from, right? And then, just imagine that Liam Lawson is in there as well. And these 6 drivers are the options to fill out your final 2 slots, and they each have pros and cons, right? Pros, I'm gonna go through all of these 6 now. So Bortoleto, really good because he cannot decrease in price. He's also really good because he's flexible for the future if you want to get someone like an Albon in or a Pierre Gasly in if you're on a lower budget. So Bortoleto gives you a lot of flexibility if you get him in this week as to what to do with your 3 free transfers when you get to Miami. So Bortoleto, good upsides in that regard. Downsides with Bortoleto, points is not fantastic, right? I don't think his points potential is super high. He also realistically has no chance to increase in price. It's just that he won't decrease. So Bortoleto, decent option for sure on the cards for our teams this week. Let's move up the field. Jack Doohan, a lot of people are already on Jack Doohan. I would say pros with Jack Doohan is that he's in an Alpine. Alpine looks like one of the faster cars this weekend in the midfield, which means that Jack Doohan could end up on a point scoring position. And considering this race is not fantastic for overtakes, if he can qualify like P9, P10 and stay there, that's going to be more points than some of the people below him. So that's positive. I think the negative with Jack Doohan, which is also a negative with Bortoleto, I just forgot to say it, is that they are rookies on a very difficult track, and Gabriel Bortoleto did not have an FP2. Very important, Bortoleto did not have an FP2. Yes, engine problem at the end of FP3 as well. So Bortoleto has had some issues this weekend, which definitely needs to be considered. But Jack Doohan, again, rookie, could be crash prone at a track like Saudi. And also, he showed some lacking pace at the end of the Bahrain Grand Prix, showing that he might not have the stamina, either just to keep the tires going or physical stamina to keep up with a longer, tougher race. And this race is going to be tough, especially with softer tires. You need to manage your tires more. Unless it's like a guaranteed 2-stopper, I suppose, and then you go flat out. Because Jack Doohan really fell off at the end of the Bahrain Grand Prix, so he's definitely an option. You can definitely keep him if you have him. Personally, I wouldn't buy him if you don't have him, but if you have him, I don't think there's a shame in keeping him, right? Fernando Alonso pros. He's historically been very good at this track, right? Very, very good at this track. I think this was his best points finish last year. He finished 5th. And, I mean, surely he's due just a decent race. The negative with Fernando Alonso is that he's in a shitbox of a car. That Aston Martin is abhorrent. Absolutely terrible car. What has happened to the Aston Martin? I saw data yesterday that the only team that was slower in FP2 this year than last year was Aston Martin, and that was like by half a second. So I don't know what Aston Martin are doing with that car, but it's clearly not working and it's clearly bad. Positives with Jack Doohan and Fernando Alonso are that they are at least in for a chance of not decreasing in price. I'm not saying it's likely, but they could both be on a 0.2 million increase for sure. I don't think a 0.6 is on the cards, but 0.2 is definitely on the cards for both of them. We then have Liam Lawson. Liam Lawson, I think, is probably at the bottom of this pile. It's just that I do think he is going to be a really good option next week, and you can kind of get in early if you wish. He's also a bit of a differential. No one owns him at 6%. So if you want to be different, Liam Lawson is your pick. However, that -4 that he has looming over him from Japan is really hurting his chances of increasing in price this week. So I think it's better to just avoid Lawson this week and then go for him next week once he's dropped another 0.6 million or 0.2 million in price. We then have the two best friends, best buddies on the grid, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon. I think both of them have their merits. Ocon, he has a really strong showing in Bahrain in the back, meaning that after this race, if he just gets a average result of 4 or 5 points, he looks really good in Miami, because Miami is a sprint race, so there's going to be more points on the cards, meaning he's looking likely for an increase in the next race. He also looks relatively likely to only decrease 0.2 million, which is good. At least it's not a 0.6 million drop. And also, like, so far this season, the Haas's have been very, very good in race pace. So perhaps he can do something with an undercut or similar strategy shenanigans to gain some positions on an otherwise difficult to overtake track. Pierre Gasly seems to be the best of the rest currently. So for points out of all of these 6 assets, I think Pierre Gasly is definitely up there. Unfortunately, he doesn't look super likely to increase in price, maybe with a 0.2 million increase. But I think Pierre Gasly, after another decrease, and also if he gets a good result in this race, he has a strong showing in Bahrain, meaning that he could be really, really, really good in Miami. So you might want to get in on Gasly early, especially since this is a track where there aren't going to be that many overtakes. So for that reason, you can get Pierre Gasly, who might score, a P6, a P7, P8, something in that region. And if he scores that much, if he scores in the race in those positions, then he's definitely on for a good F1 fantasy score compared to the others in this category. So those are the 6 drivers to choose from. And I think if you are on the meta, let me bring up a meta team once again. If you are on a meta, your choice this week is to choose one of those 6 to get, apart from the ones that you already have. So let me get Jack Doohan back in here and Mercedes. If you're on this team, I would trade either Doohan or Ocon for one of those 6 that I just talked about. I think my favorite switches personally is Doohan to something like a Fernando Alonso if you want to be a bit differential. If you trust that Gabriel Bortoleto will not DNF, I think you can go for Bortoleto to be more flexible next week and keep the budget, as most of these assets probably will decrease in price. Maybe one of them will increase, but it's not like all of them are going to increase. And then we have Esteban Ocon, who could go to someone like a Pierre Gasly. I think if you can afford Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon, I think that's kind of a no-brainer. Personally, I cannot afford it, and I'm also not even really close. So I do think you have to pick either Ocon or Gasly. I don't know what kind of crazy team you need to be on to afford both of them. I don't think anyone does. Okay, show of hands. Show of hands in chat. Does anyone have budget enough for meta team with Ocon and Gasly? What would that be? That would be what am I missing here? What am I missing here? So I'm missing 2.5 million. So 2.5 million more than what I'm on, which would be, so 2.5 million more is 110.2 million. Is anyone on above 110.2 million? 110.2 million? No. Well, I've seen one person break the 110. 109.5, 109.6, 109.3. Oof. 109.5. Oof. I know I've seen one person on Twitter have 110. Oh, 109.9 is insane. If you substitute Williams for Mercedes, you free up cap for a better mid-tier driver. Yeah, but then we're on a different strategy. We're talking strictly out of the meta team here. So much budget. Yep. A lot of budget in chat. I think I'm going to do Gasly instead of Ocon and keep Doohan and leave him with 0. Is that worth it? I think that's definitely an option. I think I personally... Oh, sorry for hitting the mic. That was not my intention. I think personally, I cannot speak to which of these assets, because obviously like two of these are going to DNF, and then like half the people get burned and half don't get burned. But so I think Gasly over Ocon is totally fine. Team submissions at top of the hour, so in 40 minutes. What do you think of Limitless with Meta Team? I think Limitless with Meta Team is not super ideal. It's not bad, but it's not fantastic either. I would, if I were on the meta team, I would probably wait to Limitless. I would probably look to Limitless and Imola. I would if I was on this team and you're like, okay, should I be Limitless here? I would probably just do, say you do Ocon to Gasly or Doohan to Alonso or whatever, or Doohan to Bortoleto, yada yada. I would do that, have 3 transfers in Miami, build a really good budget building team with those 3 transfers in Miami, aka sell Mercedes and 2 of these cheap assets that look the worst to the 2 best cheap assets available. Maybe do a final fix strategy in Miami, Limitless in Imola, and then in Monaco switch back to Mercedes. Limitless in Miami is good or no? Limitless in Miami is good depending on what happens in sprint qualifying. If sprint qualifying looks good, aka you have a few of the top drivers that you want on the Limitless starting further back, like P7 or below, like if you have both McLaren drivers like P9, P10, I think Limitless looks insane. Will Alonso increase in price? No. I don't think so. It depends. So, well, we actually have percentages now based on post FP2 simulations. So we have, Alonso looks. Alonso has a 15% chance to increase 0.2. Ocon is a 23%. Gasly is a 30% chance. So Gasly actually looks the best for percentage chance of increasing. Doohan and Alonso look very similar here. But most likely outcome is that both of them decrease 0.6. Too scared about budget loss? I don't think I'm too scared about it, but you should do what you can to mitigate it, right? I think if you lose budget, you lose budget, but it's gonna be important later on. You can see already, some people are already running away with it, like approaching 110 million, whereas I'm on 107. Now, it's not gonna be the end of the world. You know, you're still gonna be able to build a good team, but if you can mitigate it, you should. I don't think you should pick Sainz, right? Or Hülkenberg. Like, Sainz and Hülkenberg are near guaranteed to decrease in price because of their DNFs looming over them. So I think you'd sell them 100%. I think it's better to try and mitigate it than to not do it, right? I think we completely stopped caring about it about, like, you know, after the summer break maybe. For my second team, Ocon or Albon. They look very similar. Like, both are probably just gonna decrease 0.2 million. So it's whichever one you think will get the most points, or whichever one you want to hold longer term without using a transfer later. So Alonso or Bortoleto, in your opinion? If you want to sell Doohan, yeah. If you want to get Gasly in, which looks like, you know, the best option here, you sell Ocon. What about Albon and Williams? Like, Williams is not going to score enough points for Williams to be, like, Williams' expected points is 15. Mercedes' expected points is 53. That's a massive difference. I think you lose out too many points if you go for something like a Williams. Like, unless you do it strictly for budget building, but I don't see why you would do Williams for budget building either, because Williams look likely to increase just 0.2 million instead of 0.6. I think if you're budget building, you don't go for Williams, you go for Alpine or Haas. I want Gasly for Ocon, but I also want to preserve budget with Doohan for ports. But I also see a DNF in his future. I mean, you can just get Bortoleto next week, I suppose. Like, if you want to go for Gasly now, go for Gasly now. If you want to go for the upside, I think that's totally reasonable. Oh my god. Okay, can I just say something? I just realized we have 430 viewers in chat. I've never been above 250 before. Thank you so much. I didn't even realize that. That is absolutely insane. Can we get some likes on the stream? We're almost at 100. Let's get to 150 likes now. Just boom. So if you haven't liked the stream, also welcome. 400 people is insane. Thank you so much. Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, I do these every weekend. I'm very tired today, but that just boosted me in an instant. If you want to have your team rated by me, you can join the Discord, link in the bottom of the description. Put it in team submissions. I'm not going to be able to go over every team because 430 people is absolutely insane. But If you want it guaranteed, you can become a member. It's super cheap. It's like, like $2 or something like that. Less than $2. I think it's like $1.90. And you can then post it. You can then join the members exclusive team submissions channel on my Discord and post your team there, and I will guaranteed look at your team. I also see that we got a super chat. Michael, get those likes in. Yeah, thank you so much, Michael. And we also have Fraser, IMO, Williams is massive underrated in the sim. I don't think it's massively underrated. I think it's maybe a little bit underrated, but not massively so. I think maybe they're like on par with Alpine, but even then, like, they're still 30 points behind Mercedes, which I think is reasonable. Though I see where you're coming from for sure. Weekly question: where's Abhijit? Listen, I don't need Abhijit every week. I'm a big boy. I can do my transfers myself. All right, so let's do F1 predict. Get your F1 predictions in, guys. 168 likes. Thank you so much, guys. If you don't know what F1 predict is, basically just a little fun thing. And I want to see how I did. So let's look at my results. I forgot to do it in Japan. Whoops. So my result in Bahrain, I got the podium exactly right, just wrong order. So I got some points for that. I failed on that. I succeeded on that. I said Pierre Gasly would get to Q3, easiest 25 points of my life. Fastest pit stop was not Red Bull. They had a horrid time with the pit stops. Finished the race ahead. I guessed Alonso. I was very wrong. Then we had, will there be a safety car or VSC? I said yes, there wasn't. And then I said fastest lap would be Norris. It wasn't. And classified finishers, I said 19, that was 18. And then the Mercedes. All right. So let's make my predictions for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I think this looks good. No, I think we're just gonna stick with this. Who says no? Actually, well, do I want to get Leclerc in there? Cheeky Leclerc. Cheeky Charles Leclerc. Why not? I believe. I'm wearing the Ferrari jersey. I have to. You still are not in the Discord predict group or league? Yeah. I know. Who will take pole position? Let's put it at Lando Norris. He looks really good this weekend. Who will qualify highest for the Grand Prix? Which one of the racing bulls will be quickest over one lap? I think Hadja will take it. How far will Lance Stroll get in qualifying? That is mean. That is very, very mean. Oh, my thing just crashed. That's unlucky. All right. So, how far will Lance Stroll get in qualifying? He's gonna set a time, but it's probably Q1. How many classified finishers? Let's say 18. Why not? Will there be a safety car? Yes. Oh wow, no is 25 points though. Sure, that's worth it. That's worth the gamble. That's worth the gamble. Who will set the fastest lap time of the race? I'm just gonna put Oscar Piastri because why not? You can never predict this anyway. Which team will record the fastest pit stop? I mean, just put Ferrari. And who will finish the race ahead? Yet to score a point. I'm gonna put Fernando Alonso ahead. Who will be ahead in the team standing after the race? Let's do Williams. Back home. Those are my predictions. Boom. Yeah. Oh my God. 400 people watching when that has happened. That's what I'm saying. I have no idea. I actually have no idea how this happened. This is by far the craziest it's ever been. Hey, I just lied. Do you think Bortoletta will finish the race? How am I supposed to know? If anyone were to have a mechanical DNF, it would be Bortoletta. That's as much as I'll say. But yeah, 400 people is insane. What are your team ranks at the moment? Let's not talk about that, El Pepe. Let's just I would lie first. Sure. I'll take it. This water bottle is so terrible. It actually just keeps dripping. Alright. So, we've talked about the meta team. The join link for update. I'll join that after this stream. It's no, because nobody else in the F1 fantasy community is live. Take advantage. Hey, if I have monopoly on the streaming right now, I'll take it. Take a look at the elite data on this. Sure. Whoa, that's insane. 99.6% of people have McLaren. This is really interesting, actually. Thank you, Pete, for the suggestion. The top 500 are really decisive with the chips. So... do you play F1 Predict? I just did, Malek. I just did. So you can scroll back like 5 minutes and you'll see my predictions. Note the difference between Patreon 500 and Global 500. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Global... yeah, Global 500, everyone has used their Limitless. And also, like, Japan was a really good race for Limitless, so... but this makes sense, because a lot of people on the Global leaderboard pop their chips early to be high on the global leaderboard, whereas like the people who are actually going to be top 500 later on will use their chips more optimally. I think a lot of people have, like, look at this, 38.4% of people have used their 3x already in the global 500. So yeah, definitely save your chips, guys. I can't speak. For sure, save your chips. I think this is insane, by the way. 94.7% on Piastri. That is pretty nutty. I mean, everyone's just on the same team, right? 79th global on F1 Predict is insane. Is it worth my third free transfer to change VCarb to Haas? I don't think so. I mean, you're already on a budget building strategy with a cheaper constructor, so I'd say just stick with VCarb at that point and save a transfer for Miami. I think Miami is going to be important to have an extra one. Thoughts on no negative even could be a good idea with Bortoleto on the team. I remain adamant that no negative is optimal in sprint weekends always, even like compared to dangerous tracks like Monaco, and even on rainy. Like obviously Australia no negative was insane, but you can't really predict those kinds of crazy races, and I would say that no negative is going to be the strongest in either the Spa sprint weekend or the Brazil sprint weekend this year. So yeah, sprint week, no negatives is sprint week. Since they changed no negative last year, sprint weekends are the best. Is it really necessary to roll transfer to Miami? I think it's not really, right? It's never necessary if you can fix your team with like actual transfers. So just look at my team, for example, right? I'm not going to roll a transfer into Miami because I want to get to the meta team. I don't have the meta team right now, and I need to use all 3 transfers. I'm going to be on 2 transfers in Miami, and I think that's fine. You could definitely survive on 2-3 free transfers in Miami. I'm just thinking, if you're already on the meta team, why not just stick by it, right? Why not just save an extra transfer? Because the difference between like an Ocon and a Gasly or a Doohan and an Alonso is not going to be massive this week. Sarah, put your entire team in the team submissions in the Discord to have a chance of having your team rated. When the entire team is written out like that, my brain goes, woo, you know. Let's get to 2.5k this stream, only 20 more subs? No way, we're already there? Are you kidding me? I thought we would hit it by my birthday in May. What does meta team mean? So meta team is, let's go back to the elite data, right? The meta means like the most optimal. What does meta stand for actually? I can't remember. Most efficient or effective tactics available. That's what it stands for. Thank you a lot, Google. So most effective tactic available is what meta stands for. And if you look at the Patreon 500 on the elite data on F1 Fantasy Tools, the picked percentage of these assets, you can see a meta emerge. McLaren 99.6, Mercedes 78.5, Hadjar 96%, Piastri 95.1%, Behrman 94.3%, and then even like here you can see a bunch of high percentages here, meaning that the meta is as follows. And if you're on the meta team, I know we're 450. What? 450 people? My god. Oh, I'm losing my mind. If you just joined, or if you weren't here from the beginning, I think it's something like 13-14 minutes into the live stream. If you go back, I talk about what I think you should do if you're currently on the meta team. Meaning, if you currently have this team, I talked about what I think you should do, I think 13 or 14 minutes into the live stream. So you can just go back, because it was like a 10-minute segment, and I don't want to repeat myself a million times this stream. Yep. Where are the likes, guys? Okay, that's true. Yeah, pausing the stream until we're at 250 likes. There's 440 people here. I know for a fact that at least 240 of you haven't liked the stream. We can definitely get to 250 likes right now. Quick water break. Also, don't mind the mess in the back here. I got like a spur of the moment, I'm going to clean out my wardrobe yesterday, and I didn't finish it. So that's why my couch looks like that. But don't worry about it. Are you not considering Albon? I'm not considering Albon because I want the meta. I think the meta's too strong, and you can't really afford Albon with the meta unless your budget is insane. And even then, you would have to pick Bortoleto to do that. So Albon is just kind of written off based on the fact that he doesn't fit into the meta team right now at his budget. 235, 15 more likes, and then we continue the stream. What do you think about Williams? I think Williams are a no-go currently, unfortunately. Like, they're not... If Williams was like Aston Martin at the beginning of last year, or at like the end of 2023, when they're like the clear best fifth team, I think they would be better. The problem is now, like, Gasly's up there. The Haas's are up there, right? Hadjar's up there. You have these other midfield drivers that mix it with the Williams and are actually competitive and stealing points from Williams. And Williams are not really stealing points of the top four yet. So for that reason, I would categorize Williams in the same category as someone like a Alpine, a Haas or an Alpine. And in the case where you're going for one of like those three, right, I would much rather have Haas, Alpine, or even VCarb, because Williams don't look guaranteed to increase in price. It's as simple as that. Like, according to, so if you look at this, right, required points. So this is what these assets, these constructor assets, need to score to increase in price. Now, Kick is obviously insane, but that's because they have the disqualification of Hulkenberg in the back. So we can ignore their numbers for now because they're heavily skewed by these minus 22 points. Williams is the only constructor asset that is priced correctly according to the algorithm. Like, minus 50 points to increase point, like 0.3 million, minus 30, minus 29, like even 2 points to increase point, like the maximum, is crazy. So according to the algorithm that F1 Fantasy has decided that this is the algorithm, the price change algorithm we're going to use, all of these assets are underpriced. That's why they are being pushed upwards, and they're gonna keep being pushed upwards. Like, Williams at 14.7 is like where these assets are going to stop increasing in price. So that's why I don't like Williams as an asset in F1 Fantasy, because I would rather just go with one of the, like, Alpine at 7.9 and fit in like an extra premium driver. Sure, if that's what you're gonna go for, I think that's better. The drivers are actually like correctly priced, because look at the points these guys need to score to actually increase the maximum now. Like, Lando Norris is kind of, starting to hit his ceiling a bit, which I think is interesting. What did we hit? 242. Okay, 8 more people can like the stream. Surely. 8 more people can like the stream. 8 more people. 8 more people, otherwise I run another ad. And you don't want to see me run another ad. After this, as soon as we get to 250, I'm gonna talk about Limitless. 253. There you go. Thanks a lot, guys. Also, we hit the goal. MS Paint tip of the week. That's gonna happen this stream. Thanks a lot for the super chats. 257. Whew. But this crazy stream of my life. I haven't even tweeted out that we're live, by the way. I forgot to tweet out whether I'm live. that I'm live, and we have 450 viewers. What a crazy start. Did we hit 2.5k subscribers, by the way? I can't see it from this screen. Because if so, that's honestly incredible. We're close. We're very, very close. We're 13 subscribers away. My god. We could actually hit it this stream. I'm gonna bounce that. Great stream, great work on the likes and views, so well deserved. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you for hanging out. Change Duo into Bortoletto or roll a transfer? I would roll. I would probably roll. If that's like your first free move, that's fine, but you know, I prefer rolling there. Per Limitless, your strategy will be running sprint weekend with B tier constructor. How would that be good? So how do I explain it? So during a sprint race, the cheaper constructors are actually not that bad, and you can actually like sacrificing 40 points in one weekend, so you can like optimally Limitless and gain more budget. You could definitely catch that up later with better budgets. So, I don't know. I think at least early on in the season, I think it's worth at least trying. But it's not something you must do. Best combination for Tier A constructors, McLaren, Mercedes. Okay, oh yeah, actually before we talk about Limitless, I'm going to talk about Ferrari. Because I've gotten like some questions about Ferrari. And if you look at this team, like if you're on the meta team, if you just downgrade Ocon to like Bortoletto or even like a Liam Lawson, suddenly you can afford Ferrari in here. And some people say like, oh, I want to go for Ferrari. The reason why I don't think Ferrari are good. Yeah, here we go. Ferrari versus Mercedes. Thank you. The reason why I don't think Ferrari are better than Mercedes, or the reason why I think, and I'm saying this with Ferrari shirt, by the way, so you know that I'm not biased. The reason why I think Mercedes are better is because if we look at the predicted points, we have Ferrari and Mercedes are almost equal. So can Ferrari outscore Mercedes by 20 points? Sure. They get fastest pit stop and a few extra points. But I think it's more likely that Mercedes and Ferrari are going to be really close in points. And especially over like the next 3 weekends, I could see the points between Ferrari and Mercedes be very, very even. And throw one DNF in the mix and suddenly like everything is skewed, right? So I think they're equal. And sure, going for Ferrari would be a bit of a differential. I mean, not actually on percentage pick, but towards the meta team and towards the people who are actually at the top of the leaderboard. It would be a bit of a differential going for Ferrari. But I don't think the upside is enough to offset the loss of budget. Because if you go for Ferrari here, you see, you're maxing out your budget here. And that means that, say, Gasly has an amazing race in Saudi, and he looks guaranteed to increase 0.6 million in Miami, and you want Gasly in, how are you getting Gasly in at this point without going back to Mercedes? So I think the budget difference between the two assets is really, really important for the flexibility, because right now, early in the season, the meta is and is going to continue being to switch out these cheaper assets between races to get the optimal selection of 4 and building budget towards the end of the season where maybe you don't care about it as much. So for that reason, I think also I see you Flash Edge, Red Bull. I think Red Bull is the same. Like, do you think Red Bull will outscore Mercedes? maybe, but they're more expensive, and that leaves you less flexible with getting something like an Ocon, with getting something like a Gasly, maybe even reaching Albon, or soon, Carlos Sainz once his DNF is written off, right? After Miami, I think after Miami, Carlos Sainz could be an amazing option for our teams, because right now, Carlos Sainz looks like he's going to decrease 0.6 million, the maximum, twice in a row. And imagine Carlos Sainz in Imola being worth, what, 9.5 million? Like, Carlos Sainz in the Williams for 9.5 million seems like a no-brainer. Are we getting FP3 sims? I don't think we're getting FP3 sims. I think FP2 is better. Football Forever, what about Red Bull? Yeah, same with Red Bull. I think, sure, they're differential, but is the upside even there? Sure, like, if Red Bull does outscore Mercedes, by how many points is that going to be? Is it going to be by 50 points? No. Is it going to be by 20? Probably not. Is it going to be by 10? Maybe. Like, I can see that happening. But then you've lost out on the budget, and then suddenly, you get to Miami, and you can't afford Pierre Gasly after he had an amazing race. So, do you trust Ferrari? I mean, I don't distrust them, right? I trust them as much as I trust Mercedes. Like, Ferrari's pit stops have been really good this season. They've gotten those fastest pit stop points every race. But it's just at their price point, the upside is not there yet. We would need to see a better upgrade from Ferrari to distinguish them as the clear second fastest team. And that's just not the case right now. And also remember that Ferrari are bringing their upgrades for Monaco, I believe. Mercedes are bringing their upgrades for Imola, so we could get to Imola and Mercedes are the second fastest team by far, or even the fastest team if they actually go up and challenge McLaren. Jacob says, writer's latest message. This one is slightly rushed some away. We'll have another look later tonight. And a post FP3 will be more of a post FP2 plus, or version 2 plus whatever you learn in FP3. Yeah, I think the simulations of FP2 is good enough. I think that's mostly what we're going to do. Okay, so with that said, we're going to do team submissions in a while, and I know the amount of team submissions is going to be absolutely insane, so I apologize for not getting to all of them, but I mean, the most amount of viewers I've ever had on a stream before is 250, and we're nearly double that. So I apologize that I can't get to all the streams, all the team submissions. If you want your team reviewed 100% of the time, you can do so by joining as a member. It's like $2 a month, and then join the Discord. You will have a members exclusive channel where you can post it, and that's where I will look first. So. Let's look at I need to we're gonna do like we did yesterday on stream. If you were here for that, you know what's happening. We're opening an incognito window. Not for the reason you think, just so I can log in to my other account. And yes, I have a second account. Don't ban me. This is for experimental purposes only. So, let's talk about Limitless. I think this team, which by the way outscored the meta team last week, so suck on that. This is my team on my other account. I think this is the optimal team to Limitless with this week, hands down. Like, Piastri likely to increase. Russell is the second most likely to increase out of the top drivers. You have a cheap constructor, McLaren. You have Behrman, Hadjar, and then one more, driver that's at least not going to fall in price. So I have decided that to at least play it differently from my main team, I'm going to Limitless on this team. So I'm going to Limitless on this team here, and then we're going to Limitless with my other team, either in Miami or in Imola or in Monaco or in Spa or in Hungary. So let's switch up the music. We're Limitless here. It's time. My first Limitless of the season on any of my teams. What Limitless team are you doing then? Well, you will see. Ocon or Gasly, I think they're super even. Football forever. If you have to take an extra transfer to do so, you pick whichever one you already have. If you're selling like, a Duhan to upgrade to Ocon or Gasly, I think you pick Gasly just for the upside this week. But I wouldn't go out of my way to sell Ocon for Gasly. When are you doing the team submissions? Top of the hour, so in 9 minutes time. So, if you don't know, and if this is your first time here, I had a horrible Australian Grand Prix. Horrible. Like, all 3 of my teams on my account below 100 points. My budget building team scored minus 12 points in the first week. So I was like, okay, so I have this budget building team that lost like 3 million in budget in the first race. I might as well just start a new team, a new account at 100 million and try and budget build with that and see how it goes. So I did, and this is the result of it. And this team has performed really well. It's actually caught up to my team that got 70 points in the first race. So it's clawed back that distance. And it has a budget of 100 and... now it's infinite because of the limitless, of course. But it has a budget of like 109.5 million. So, yeah, let's... I'll show this before we actually do the limitless. Yeah, 109.5 million, which is insane. Yeah, it's called... here we go again. Any rain top tips for the weekend? We'll get to that after the team submissions. So, we're going to limitless with this team, because I do think this is the optimal team to limitless with this weekend. I don't think you can get a better team in the back for your limitless. So, for that reason, I'm going to do it here, just to differentiate from my main team. Again, this is my second team, and we'll see how that goes. The clear and obvious pick are Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, and McLaren. I will put the 2x on Lando Norris to differentiate myself from all the people with Oscar Piastri. If I limitless and put the 2x on Oscar Piastri, I'm not betting... let's just go back to this elite data, right? The patron top 5 and even the global top 5. Global top 5 is not as insane for Piastri, but look at this. I would say that these patron 500s, these are the elite players, the elite strategists that know what they're doing. 95% of them have Piastri. 94% of them are going to put the 2x on Piastri. That is an insane amount of insane amount of Piastri 2xers. If I do that, if I put Piastri on my 2x on a limitless, why am I even limitlessing? I need to be different. So, what? I'm putting the 2x on Norris. We then have the constructor. And I think here, you know how I just talked about you shouldn't get Ferrari? Well, the main reason why you shouldn't get Ferrari is because it leaves you inflexible with budget. For me, on a limitless, I'm doing Ferrari. Again, to differentiate myself, everyone has McLaren, Mercedes. I might as well go for Ferrari because they're different, hoping for a Kimi Antonelli crash or something, right? Now is where it gets interesting. I think George Russell is a must-have because George Russell has just been so consistent at the start of the season. I think he's very likely to finish in the top 5 again, and top 5 is where I want my drivers to be. Not even considering Red Bull? No, not at all. I am considering Max Verstappen. I feel like you kind of need to have the second most expensive driver in the game on a limitless. Like, that's kind of why you limitless, to have Max Verstappen. I'm not considering Red Bull Racing at all. I'm considering Ferrari. For me, it's Ferrari, Mercedes, and then Red Bull. Too early for hoping for crash mode. That's true. Hoping for a mechanical failure. So, Russell, Verstappen. I did tweet about the fact that there is a world in which you could do this, but I just haven't seen enough from Lewis Hamilton this weekend for him to really show that he's worth it. So, even though this looks weird because I'm not tripling up on Ferrari, I think it's actually fine. Because Ferrari, as a constructor, I will get Hamilton's points there. I mainly want them for the team points and them getting the fastest lap, or fastest pit stop, sorry, things like that. And then, Max Verstappen can just pop up with a P2 in qualifying like that, and you don't know what hit you, right? What if Lewis has a terrible weekend? That's possible. But I also think that it's very possible that Kimi Antonelli could have a terrible weekend, or that Yuki Tsunoda could have a terrible weekend. I think there's a weakness in each of the other three top teams, and you have to pick one. And I'm not picking Mercedes, because then why am I limitlessing? Because everyone has McLaren Mercedes. And at that point, I think Ferrari are better than Red Bull. I think that's, was a terrible weekend for Lewis. P8, I would say P8 is a terrible weekend for Lewis, but it's fine for Limitless. So I think this is the best Limitless team for this week. Do you get 2 transfers of Limitless or 3? 2. It does not save over, unfortunately. Hoping for Antonelli DNF if Limitless. Yeah. If you're on Limitless like me and you have this, you definitely want a cheeky Antonelli mechanical failure. That is... Or actually, I don't even mind an Antonelli DNF. I just want, Bortoleto or Duan or one of the guys, one of the cheap guys that everyone has, that I don't have in the back to DNF. So this is gonna be my team. This is my Limitless team. I think this is the best Limitless team that you can build. So I'm gonna go for this, and I'm pretty confident that. Obviously, Charles Leclerc crashes on the first lap, and suddenly I look like an absolute jackass. But hey, that's the game. That is the game. 280 likes, 280 likes. Jesus. Can we get it to 300 likes? 20 people out of the 200 or so that haven't liked the stream. 1/10 of the people that haven't liked the stream that's in here currently can like the stream. We can get it to 300 and completely destroy records. We got a record last week with what was the record last week, guys? Did we get 200 or did we get 150? Crazy numbers. Crazy numbers. Are we on 2,500 subs yet? Okay, I'm not joking you. We're 1 sub away. We're 1 sub away. I just showed some money that I earned, but that's okay. I'm 1 sub away. One person that hears this, click the subscribe button. Insane. 2,500. Crazy. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. Incredible. Let's confirm the changes. Boom. Amazing. Okay, Limitless activated, 2,500 subs. It can't get better than that. Let's do some team submissions, shall we? So, let me... Alright, I will quickly go to the bathroom. When I'm back, we'll do team submissions. So don't go anywhere. I'll run a quick ad. And then, yes, I have locked in this. I can't confirm it. Team budget exceeded, but I've activated Limitless. Okay, we'll solve this once I get back. Quick toilet break. We'll solve this, and then team submissions. All right, I'm back. We are back. Whew. Okay. I can't confirm these changes. Interesting. I wonder if it's because I was on. I wonder if it was because I'm on a incognito tab. Let's just try and do those changes before, so I don't miss making those changes, because that would be very unfortunate. Because I really want to activate my Limitless on that team. F1 Fantasy. There we go. Apply chip. Limitless. Continue. Boom, 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 boom. And boom. Boom and boom. Put 2x there. Continue. Confirm. Alright, there we go. I've already done my moves there, so we can now leave this account and focus on the real thing. There we go. Fantastic. Team submissions. Yeah, I know, it's team submissions time. It is team submissions time. There we go. Team submissions. Team submissions, team submissions. Explain again the logic behind Limitless. No. Look at Formula Fantasy Hub's video. He explains really well why Limitless is better. The delta, it's all about to do the delta. It's all about the delta between the Limitless user and the non-Limitless user. So the delta in sprint weekends doesn't actually look that great. Most honest answer. Listen, it is a 40-minute discussion to actually go into exactly why. But basically, sprint races don't give points. Like, you get 6 points for getting third in a sprint race. Meanwhile, you get 5 points. Meanwhile, you get 10 points for going P20 to P16 in a sprint race. So sprint races, not like this. You know, the regular race is always better for the expensive assets. Sprint races are actually better for the cheap assets, meaning that the Limitless delta is worse in sprint weekends most of the time, unless crazy things happen in sprint qualifying. I think the best Limitless delta we've ever seen was China last year, which was a sprint weekend, but that was, you know, Max Verstappen started P7 and then won or something like that. So pretty much all other what's it called, sprint weekends that we have data for have been below average in like how good the Limitless actually was. Meanwhile, you have races like Imola, Saudi, Monaco, Singapore, Hungary that are all above average on the delta, because low overtakes on tracks mean, like, Japan this year would have been an amazing Limitless. Like, if you used Limitless in Japan, you cooked, because there were no overtakes, so all the cheap assets scored no points. All the points went to the biggest assets. So that's why. Like, just think about Japan and how little all of your drivers scored. Well, imagine if you had all of the drivers that actually did score points there, how many more points you would have gotten. So that's the basic explanation. But if you want like a full detailed view and see all the data, just go to Formula Fantasy Hub's channel, and he'll explain it. All right, let's actually do team submissions, guys. Again, team submissions. If you haven't been here before, we do them on my Discord server. Currently, we have no submissions in the new exclusive members team submissions channel. So if I skip your team today, don't get sad. There are 500 people here. I cannot get to everyone. I will look at those that I find interesting, that have been tagged beforehand, and just talk about the teams that I find interesting. And again, don't get sad if I don't look at yours, because I'd rather look at 5 teams and talk 5 minutes about them than look at all teams and just say, do this, do this, do this, do this. Because me saying Ocon's better than Gasly or Gasly's better than Ocon, that doesn't give anything to the discussion. Like, I will discuss the structure of the team, the potential movings in and out of drivers and constructors, and potential chip strategies in the future, which I think could apply to more people. So just try and listen to all of them. Like, try and listen to all of the team submissions and see, did what Rain just say apply to my team as well? And if yes, then maybe that's why I didn't look at your team specifically. But again, if you want your team to be guaranteed looked at, you can always go and become a member. All right, so let's begin. I will begin from. So we have almost 30 plus messages, I believe. Yeah. So I'm gonna start from here. And look at Telos, because we have someone who is cooking with something different here, and I think that's really interesting. I've got options for my team too. 1 including Alonso, purely on fields due to his record that started for last season. First screener is current, following 3 are the options, and in all opinions welcome. Fantastic, love this. Also, I really love it when you either like post, okay, this is my team currently and these are the options, or when you go all in and make, I know some people make drawings and things like that. Oh, like this, love this, you know, this is fantastic. But we'll get to that in a second. We're gonna look at this first from Telos. So current team is a Mercedes Ferrari team with a Russell. I think you're probably doing quite well unless you had Ferrari in that disastrous week. I think one of my friends is actually like top 10k, and he had Russell, Mercedes, McLaren, and he's had that since the start. His budget is low, but he's really high on the global leaderboard without using any chips. So again, really interesting team. I think all of these teams. Okay, so here we have getting Piastri in here by getting Haas. Okay, so you're all sticking by Russell here. 21 million in the bank feels incorrect to leave if you're not planning on limitlessing. If so, I'd rather do this. But here you, I would say, switching to a meta team with Russell looks better than to not do that, right? I think McLaren are kind of must-haves, and it sucks to say because I hate it when a team is must-have, but like the McLaren constructor is going to keep getting 70 plus points. So for that reason, I like this one, unless your plan is to like budget build, in which case you could either stick something like this on the board, or do this. But I do think McLaren constructor, if you're going by points purely, you kind of have to have McLaren in there. And I know I hate pushing you towards the meta. It's just that McLaren are really undroppable right now. All right, let's see. What do you think? Not decided. Maybe considering in Limitless in Miami. Again, we've talked about most of this now, so I'm gonna skip that for now. Team looks very similar. Basically, the question: Ferrari or Mercedes, who is better? I've already discussed that, Abhijit, but thank you so much for the submission. I hope that you enjoyed the discussion we had that earlier. And if you had the same question as Abhijit, question is Ferrari versus Mercedes, who's better? You can scroll back to like maybe 25 minutes ago. I talked about it. Thank you for clearing my doubt about Ferrari. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. We have Dylan's. It looks good. Let me double check what exclamations mean. I don't remember anything. Okay, yeah. Okay, got it. I'm in. Alright. Okay, it's for a custom league. I need Sonoda 2x. Okay, you need Sonoda 2x. What is going on here? With this in mind, what would you say? Okay, so you need Sonoda 2x, Ocon, and Ferrari. With this in mind, what would you change? I would get McLaren in there. can you get McLaren in there? I would rather have McLaren than Piastri. If you're not 2xing Piastri, okay. In a custom league where you need Tsunoda 2x, Ocon, and Ferrari, you sell Piastri for Bortoleto and upgrade Haas to McLaren. I don't know if you can afford that, but I think that's what you do. Because there's no reason to have Piastri and Tsunoda. It's better to have McLaren. McLaren are going to keep increasing in price until eternity. So, unless you're like strictly doing budget building. Yeah, he needs 2xu. Yeah, McLaren was best points bidder last time I checked. Yeah, so if if your team is, if you need Tsunoda, Ocon, and Ferrari, just bin Piastri for like Bortoleto or whatever you can afford, and make sure you have McLaren in there. I'm gonna say that a lot. Like a lot of people who are doing different teams, you kind of still need to have McLaren in there. You could be different and get something like Fernando Alonso or 2xing Russell, but like McLaren still needs to be there. All right, Salima, right? Current Team 2 transfers. All right, we have Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Racing Bulls. Man, I know you wish you wish you had Haas last week. So possibility 1 is switch to meta. Okay, got it. Possibility 2 is switch to meta but with Doohan. Possibility 3 is switch to Ferrari with Bortoleto. Okay, so for the same reason I spoke about Ferrari before, I think Mercedes are better if you're not on a limitless. So I think Ferrari are too expensive and leave you inflexible to getting something like a Gasly in the future. Because like look at this team with Ferrari and Bortoleto. Like say you want Gasly and Ocon next week, how do you do that? How do you get something like Ocon plus Liam Lawson next week? You don't. So I would say possibility 3 goes out because of that. Between possibility 2 and possibility 1, I think either's fine. It's if you don't think Bortoleto will finish the race, go for Doohan. But I think coin toss honestly between Team 1 and Team 2. It's literally if you don't want to lose budget, Bortoleto. If you want to have some option for points and maybe a chance to increase, go for Doohan. But if you want to go the safe route with I think Doohan is the safe route with points, and Bortoleto is the safe route with, or the 100% safe route with budgets. So I think that's the difference. Here we go. What should I do? This is, I've already talked about. Oh wait, you're on Haas. Okay, you're on my team. So just look what I do later. You have 2 out of 3. You've already used a move. What have you used a transfer on? What have you already used a transfer on here? I assume it's to get Hadjar or Behrman in. Maybe. I mean, I'm gonna switch Norris and Haas and Stroll to the meta team, but wait, is Rob doing a deadline stream? No, Rob is not doing a deadline stream. That's why we have like 500 people here today. It's only 350 now. We dropped off like I went to the toilet and 100 people said no, I'm done. Which is always fun. All right. We have a few things here. Let's see. This looks like meta team with Stroll. Oh no, not meta team because you have Haas. Maybe you're limitless here. Oh, it's your teams. Team 1 I have right now. Option 1, Russell Bortoleto. Team 2, Russ and Doohan. Option 3, 3 more. Team I didn't post Stroll as Haas out. Alpine and Ross in. Okay. Team 1 I have right now. Option 1, Russell Bortoleto. Right. Oh, getting messages. Yep, we're fine. We're back. Wait, where were we? I lost it. I lost it. No. Okay, here we go. Let me think about this. So, option 1 is Russell and Bortoleto. Okay. And option 2 is Russell plus Doohan. I think similarly what I said before, like Doohan and Bortoleto is like Doohan is safer for points because Bortoleto might have a mechanical DNF. Bortoleto is safer for budget. So I think it's a coin toss between those two, really. And similarly for what I've talked about earlier with Ferrari, I think Mercedes are better. And I'm going to keep harping on that. What is the meta team? It is McLaren, Mercedes, Hadjar, Piastri, Behrman, +2. So actually, okay. So this is my team. We'll get back to team submissions when we have time, and I might have time to do a few team submissions. Red Bull, Mercedes, Mercedes. I talked about the other constructors like half an hour ago, but basically I don't think unless you like going for a limitless, where I think you should get Ferrari probably just to be different. I think if you're on regular budget money, just go for Mercedes. I think it's weird to not do it. 2.5k subs already. While the channel's growing fast. The channel is growing fast. It's really impressive, actually. All right, so let's talk about my team, and I think this applies for some of your teams as well. So I'm doing 3 free transfers this week, and it is to switch to the meta team. And the meta team last week was this, and I could switch to that. I don't think I will though. I think I'm doing something else instead of Jack Doohan. The question is, do I go for Bortoleto or Fernando Alonso? Bortoleto or Fernando Alonso? Actually, let me make a poll on this. Let me make a poll on this, because I would love to know what you guys think. You can spam the chat while I try and why can I not make a poll? There we go. Spam the chat. Alonso or Bortoleto? Alonso or Bortoleto? Fantastic. I had caps on. We'll keep it. Interesting. Old dog or new pup? Yep. The mentor or the trainee? Master Uguay or Poe? Master Shifu or Tai Lung? Heavy majority favorite is Bortoleto, actually. Yeah, Bortoleto definitely has a DNF danger. He just doesn't have a budget danger. That's the thing. Do an Ocon for Gasly and Alonso? I think it's decent, but like I'd rather save a transfer for whatever the schmuck. Miami. Let's switch the music up. Why would he be a DNF danger? Because he had no run in FP2 because he had a fuel leakage problem, and then in FP3 he had engine problems at the end. So the car looks like it's going to fall apart. Doohan or Alonso? I prefer Alonso over Doohan. And the reason why is super simple. Look at Doohan in round 4, 2 points. Alonso in round 4, 5 points. Meaning that after this round, obviously it's going to depend on what they score, but I probably would want to sell Doohan in Miami anyway. Whereas Alonso, if he has a decent score, you know, maybe he gets 6 or 7 points, he could be a keep in Miami. What are your plans for after this round? I'm happy you asked. Alright, Bortoletta's winning the poll. So I think we're gonna call Bortoletta the winner. What about Gasly? Gasly's fantastic. It's just that like I need to get rid of Lance Stroll, and then I can't fit Gasly in. I don't want to keep Lance Stroll. I'd rather keep Ocon. So let's discuss this, right? These are gonna be my moves. I'm going to do this right now. Quick little screenshot. for the socials. Oh yeah, FP3 sims are out. Sure, let's look at FP3 sims before we confirm our transfer. That is entirely correct. What am I doing? Team calculator. We can even look. So if you want the premium features of the F1 Fantasy Tools, shameless plug, you have a code right there next to me. And with this, you could input your teams, and I can see my current team, and I can see what they think I should do. So 4 points, they actually think I should pick Jack Doohan. Oh, interesting. For budget, though, without messing up everything here and having, you know, the proper teams, they think it's Bortoletto and Gasly, with a -10. But obviously, I'm not going to do that because that would be absolutely mental. So they do think Jack Doohan is on the higher end for points. Alonso looks similar. Bortoletto looks like he's going to get -1.1 points. Incredible. At least he's not dropping in value. And I mean, look at the value difference. It's kind of insane because they're expecting both Doohan and Alonso and Ocon to drop in points. So I'm going to do this. Why not stay with the Haas build? Because I'm losing points. I'm losing like 40 points every weekend on it. So I'm not going to stick on that build. I'm switching to this, and I'll explain to you after. Once I've confirmed this, I'm going to show you what my plan is. Boom, confirmed. So this is my team now. We're on the meta team. I know. How boring. Whatever. That's my meta team. Now, what is my plan in Miami? I'm only gonna have 2 transfers with Bortoletto in there. That means I have a lot of flexibility. My plan is to build a. If this looks like a really good team to Limitless, and the Limitless look good in Miami, I have the option to Limitless in Miami. Probably not though. More likely thing to do is to use the 2 free transfers that I will have to switch 2 of these cheaper assets to the best budget building assets available. We're talking maybe Gasly, maybe it's Liam Lawson, who knows? It could be anyone. 2 free transfers spent, probably keeping McLaren Mercedes. If like Ocon, Behrman, and Hadjar are all good, I could even consider going back to Haas again, or Alpine, or Williams, or Racing Bulls, or whatever. Less likely, but possible, in Miami, after the sprint qualifying, of course. Then, with Limitless and Imola. With this team, every time we switch away from Norris, it does well. I'm expecting Norris 60-point route. That is true. That is fair. Last time I switched away from Norris was in Sandport, where he scored 65 points. So, that's usually what happens. But the plan for this team will be to Limitless and Imola. And I will use the free transfers that I have available in Miami to facilitate that as well as possible. Alright, let's quickly go over other teams. This team is super easy because I don't have Ollie Behrman. So I'm just going to use 1 free transfer. Boom, Jack Doohan out. I can't afford Ollie Behrman. Oh yeah, because my budget with this team is absolute dog water. Well, it's just Ocon out for Behrman then, because Behrman is must-have. So we do this and call it a day. Boom, very good. Sure. And then this monstrosity of a team. Whatever. I mean, this team, like, we just ignore it. I'm just making moves to actually make moves. Can't it? Oh, this team. This is the team that started the season by getting -12 points, by the way. We're just going to keep budget building. Who cares? Perfect. What a move. Alright. But if we ignore that, this is the main team. Okay. Since we did hit the goal, and not only like did we hit the super chat goal, we hit 2,500 subs, incredible, and we hit 400 and what was the peak? peak viewership was like 450 people. Oh no, 495. Sorry, we nearly hit 500 concurrent viewers. Insane. 300 likes. Like we broke every conceivable record on this channel by like miles, which is honestly insane. So it's time for. You all know what it's time for. Did you set your limits? Yeah, I did set my limitless team. Thank you for reminding me, Steven. Let's see. Would you do -10 to do Haas to Merc? Yes. Thoughts on Williams gamble instead of Mercedes? No, I don't think Williams is good enough. If Williams was clearly the 5th fastest team and like right behind the top 4, maybe. But like Gasly's up there, Hadjar's up there. Who else is up there? I don't know. But you know what I mean. Alright, it's time. For those of you who haven't been here before, because there's probably a few of you who haven't been here before, this is the most anticipated segment of every deadline stream here on this channel. This is why people subscribe. This is what people are here for. The top-notch artistic skills with MS Paint. This requires 110% of my focus and concentration. It is, of course, Rain Fantasies #1 tip of the week. Give me your predictions. What is the tip of the week? Give me some tip of the week predictions. You have Ocon most of you removing Behrman to also get Gasly. No, Behrman and Hadjar are better than Ocon and Gasly. I think that's important to note because they are all but like when I say when I said an asset is guaranteed to rise in price, I mean guaranteed bar a DNF. Hadjar and Behrman are better than Ocon and Gasly, so I would not sell Behrman to get Gasly and Ocon. I would pick either Ocon or Gasly. Yes, I would take a -10 to do Haas to Merc. Jake. Tip #1, don't limitless. I limitless though on one team. Moving away from Bortoletto. No, I bought Bortoletto. Rollout transfer is a good one. It has something to do with this, but it's not entirely correct. Think About Miami's also close. I know Charles has called it once before. I recognize the name. Or Charles C. Tip of the week. Tip of the week, Gasly never works. Born to Drift. I don't know if you're saying that to tease me. I feel like you know what you just said. Mercedes is bait this week, budget build instead. That is a spicy take. If it past 2 AM, don't do anything stupid, instead go to sleep. Sure. Behrman is must-have. Behrman is must-have, but everyone already has Behrman. Like last week, Hadjar is must-have was the tip of the week because people didn't have Hadjar, so people went and bought Hadjar last week. 3 transfers for Miami. That's good, but you're good, Carlos. It's almost that, but it's not entirely. It's no one's actually called it yet. But people, I mean, you're not far off. Thank you so much, Celtic. Yeah, you helped out a ton. Like that. Once I learned what all those emojis mean, that's gonna be easier. But like, yeah, you helped out a ton. There you go, Derek. Okay, Derek called it. It is prepare for limitless. Listen, I don't care if you limitless this race. I don't care if you limitless in Miami. I don't care if you limitless in Imola or even in Monaco. But you have to start preparing. You have to make a roadmap for your team so that you have the opportunity to limitless either in Miami, if the sprint qualifying looks really good for it, or in Imola. And to do that, you can prepare either by saving a transfer. You could do it by making transfers now, so that, picking something like Bortoletto, for example. Like, picking Bortoletto this week is to prepare for Limitless. Limitless is the most powerful chip in the game, and I do think the most optimal time to use it in the season is going to be coming up, right? Japan has already happened. Japan was super optimal for Limitless, but we didn't call that in time. Limitless looks really, really strong early this season, especially with budget building the way it is. And I do see an opportunity to use it in like Spa or Hungary, but that is later on in the season. And I think we only go for that strategy if like all of our assets, like there's like a mega crash in Miami with like 7 cars in the wall, right? For now, Limitless looks the strongest in the upcoming 3 races, maybe 4 if you count Monaco. And whichever one you want to go for, it could be the correct one, it could be the incorrect one. But you need to start preparing your team, you need to make a plan and ensure that you have enough transfers available, you have enough budget available to get the team that you want before limitlessing, so that when you limitless, you get the correct budget in the back. Great call, Derek. Great call. So prepare for the Limitless is the tip of the week. Don't forget to prepare for the Limitless. It is the most powerful chip in the game for a reason. We have another 30 minutes to go until the deadline. So do not go anywhere. We're going to discuss a bit more, do some questions from chats, go back to the team submissions if I did not get your team submission in time. So a quick intermission, a quick little break, and we'll be right back. All right. We are back. It's crazy that like, oh, it's only 226 people here. Like that's what the normal stream is like, and I'm like, oh, I've lost half my viewers because I went to the toilet. Classic. Classic, classic, classic. Let's do some more questions from chat. What do you think of -20 to switch from Russell to Piastri this week? That's a tough one, actually. I don't know. I think probably, but it's not as obvious of a question as you might think. There you go. I don't actually know if I would. It depends on what your other moves are, Xiao. I think it depends on your other moves. Can a driver not change in price? Like, what if they get more than points required for 0.2 but less than... No, that's okay, so let me explain it. This section here is just for Bortoleto. So if Alonso gets 5 points, he decreases 0.2 million. If you're in between this, you're this, right? It's just because Bortoleto is at the bottom, he can't decrease further, so he's stuck at 0.0. Are you doing Washington for quali? I think so. Like, I'm dead in terms of energy levels, but as always, it's gonna be more chill. So I'll do watch along. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it anyway, so I might as well just grab some food, and sit and watch it on the stream. So if you have nowhere else to be, this is the place to be. But I can feel my energy levels, you know. And if you don't know, follow me on social media. Did you predict already? Yes, I did. I did predict like 5:30, I think. So like an hour and 10 minutes ago. You can probably find it, but it's about an hour and 10 minutes ago. You'll be here for it? Nice, Abhijit. Fancy Tools just 47 versus 47.1 points. Yeah, no, I talked about this again like an hour ago. I talked about this, Calvin. But essentially, I don't think Ferrari or Red Bull Racing are worth it because, as you said, it's 47.1 to 47 points. Is it worth it to be different? No, because there's not enough upside, right? If there was more potential upside for it, maybe. But you lose out on budget, which leaves you inflexible towards Miami. And again, you need to prepare for Limitless. So if you're stuck with Red Bull Racing and you want to get like Gasly into your team, you can't because you spent that extra 2.5 million or whatever it is to have Red Bull Racing, or like the extra 3 million to have Ferrari, and suddenly you can't have Gasly in your team, which looks like a really good driver for the next 3 races to have in the back of your Limitless, as well as just getting points, or maybe even like an Alex Albon or a Carlos Sainz, right? Those drivers, and probably not Carlos Sainz, but you know, like an Alex Albon could be a really good option if he gets a good race here, or if he has a good race in Miami, right? We need that budget now, so I think the upside is not enough. And also, Mercedes are rumored to bring a big upgrade package to Imola. So soon they could be back to like actually like challenging McLaren even. So for that reason, I think it's not worth it to be differential, unless. So for me, on my other team that I'm limitlessing on this week, I'm picking Ferrari to be differential because that, you know, budget's not an issue, right? But if you're on regular budgets and on a regular team, I think Mercedes is just a safer pick. If they were all the same price, I would say yes, 100%. If Red Bull was cheaper, 100% yes. I would have been like, yeah, let's go for the differential Red Bull pick. But because Mercedes are the cheapest, and I think the meta this year so far has really been to focus in on those cheap drivers and switch them out to gain the most budget possible. Like, that has been the strategy. I think that's going to continue being the case for a bit. Crazy how no one is considering Alpine. I think Alpine is probably the best cheap constructor. It's just that cheap constructors are, once again, kind of not worth it at all. Doohan to Alonso roll transfer? I would roll transfer. They're almost equal. I would rather prepare for Limitless, as per the tip on your screen. My energy levels were drained during the Japanese Grand Prix weekend. All true. That was a snoozer. Let's switch the music. Some Laser Runner? Sure. No, I hated that. Digital milestones. We didn't hit some milestones today. Yeah, this is better. Do the potential upgrades coming change how you prepare your lineup for the next couple of weeks? I mean, slightly in the way that I'm less likely to move to Ferrari early because Ferrari are bringing their upgrade to Monaco and Mercedes are bringing their upgrade to Imola, which is sooner. So slightly, but not entirely. Have you locked in your team for this week? Yes, yes I have. Eman. This is my team. Oh yeah, I was gonna tweet it out. I forgot to do it. Let's go to the bad websites. Team Saudi Arabian GP F1 no. F1 Fantasy Team Selection. Meta it is. Now we pray no Bortoletto DNF. Boom. Done. Cheeky little pin on that. Cheeky little pin on that. Alonso or Doohan? I think it's very close. I mean, they're almost equal. I prefer Alonso though. Shall I have a Haas or Alpine for budget building? I think Alpine are better, probably. It's close though. I mean, actual budget building says the Haas because, you know, but like, unless Alpine have DNFs, they're not scoring this, you know. Haas for this race. Another recommendation: limitless preparation. Since you have McLaren Haas, I would say that you are kind of prepared to limitless in Miami already if the sprint qualifying looks good. So I think at any point when you're on a cheap constructor currently and you're deviating from the meta, I would say that you are in a prime condition to limitless should it pan out, which is what happened with my other team, right? I had Piastri, Russell, Ocon, Behrman, Hadjar, McLaren Haas. Why Alpine and Sims? They just look better in points, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, there's even like a points prediction team that looks good with Alpine, right? Alpine looks good in Sims because Gasly looks good. That's why. That's literally the entire reason. No other reason. Gasly or Ocon though? I think Gasly could definitely be a pick over Ocon. It's just that like I'm not gonna spend a -10 to do it. So like here, I had to sell. I would rather sell Stroll than Ocon. I don't want to keep Stroll. I'd rather have Ocon. I'd rather have Ocon Bortoleto than Gasly Stroll, if that makes sense. Which was this, I had to sell either. I had to downgrade either Ocon or Stroll this week, and I'd rather downgrade Stroll, and then I can't afford Gasly. But like in a vacuum, I do think Gasly looks better this week than Ocon for sure, and also for the future. It's just that like I'm not sure if it's worth selling Ocon, if that makes sense. But if you're buying either Ocon or Gasly, I would buy Gasly every time. Should I choose Gasly? I want to limitless on Miami. Again, it depends on what, like, are you spending 2 transfers to do it? 3 transfers to do it? Do you already have it? Yeah, you already have Ocon, that's what you're asking. Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it tricky, right? Because if you've already spent 1 transfer doing, like, do an out for Bortoleto or whatever, do you spend a second transfer doing Ocon to Gasly when, like, this week they're kind of similar, apart from Gasly maybe having more points prediction? Doing over Bortoleto, I think it's. I mean, you could go either way. I went for Bortoleto because he can't decrease in price, and I want to save my budget for now. Did you already lock in a team? Yes, this is my locked in team. I've made my transfers. You can see it up here. I have 0 out of 3 available. These were the transfers I made. So yes, I have locked in my team. Can you please explain as what the meaning for preparing for Limitless for a newcomer? What are the key points to consider before we apply Limitless in coming races? So the key thing is that once you use your Limitless, the next week your team reverts back to what it was the prior week. So what we call having like the team you have in the back, meaning so like if I Limitless now in Miami, after Miami I will get this team back because this was the team I had the prior weekend, which was Saudi Arabia. So what we mean by that, so because of that, you gain the budget changes from your team in the back. So if your team in the back looks like dog shit, sorry the swear word, if you're Limitless, you're going to lose a bunch of budget. And that's just a suboptimal way to use the chip, especially since budget this season is so swingy. So what we do by preparing for Limitless is like we pick these assets that look likely to increase in price or not to drop in price, see Bortoleto, for the foreseeable future. And like if we get to, if say Ocon, Behrman, and Hadjar all smash it into the wall in Saudi Arabia, there's no way in hell, even if the sprint qualifying looks amazing in Miami, that I'm using my Limitless chip. Like actually, that's just not happening. I'm spending my transfers getting these, bums out of my team, and then preparing for Imola. So preparing for Limitless means that, right? You prepare your team so that you have a good team in the back when you use the Limitless. If you get to Miami, sprint qualifying looks good, and all of your assets that you have in your team look like to increase in price, pop that, right? You just pop that. But what we also mean by preparing for Limitless is having a plan. Just have an idea when you want to Limitless. Do you want to Limitless in Miami? I wouldn't like bank on Limitlessing in Miami. I would have Miami as an option for Limitless if the sprint qualifying looks good. And what I mean by the sprint qualifying looks good, I explained that in my Limitless video. So the video I posted on my channel on Wednesday is all about this. But that's kind of what I mean by that. So you prepare it in 2 ways. One, you have actually a plan or like a structure that you want to follow. And 2, you prepare your team physically by making transfers that facilitate a more optimal Limitless play in the foreseeable future. So for example, my other team that I did use my Limitless on, the team that I had going into this week, right, was this with George Russell, because I had higher budgets. Piastri, the only expensive driver that looks near guaranteed to increase in price the maximum. Russell looks decent, at least, like he's the second best expensive driver. Ocon doesn't look great, but at least it's only 0.2 million loss if he does, reasonably well. Behrman and Hadjar are the best increasing drivers. I had a cheap constructor, which was Haas, who looks guaranteed to increase in price, bar DNFs, and then McLaren. So I had pretty much the most optimal team for a Limitless play that still had a McLaren asset in there that didn't run Haas Alpine or something like that. Like those teams are always optimal to Limitless with, but Is Alonso worth picking up? Yeah, I think Alonso's fine to pick up. Yeah, I just don't expect anything this week in terms of budget gains. I think he's gonna drop in price another race. But if he has a decent race here in Saudi, he could be really good for Miami. I know it's a better delta for Ferrari on Limitless, but are you concerned about the Ferrari pace? No. I'm slightly concerned about Hamilton's pace, but I mean, Leclerc looks fine. I'd rather take the. Well, I also, again, since the delta is good, like that's it's a. If Mercedes outscores Ferrari, I don't see it being by 20 points, right? It's gonna be by something like 10 points. I'd happily bet 10 points on everyone. Like, I feel like it's a massive upside potential. And even then, like, even if I lose against it, at least I've used my Limitless and a hopefully decent weekend. Because if Mercedes scores high, I at least have George Russell on that Limitless team, and I think George Russell is gonna be the majority of those points. And a lot of people won't have George Russell. So at least I get the Mercedes points that way. Alonso or Doohan, I've talked about this a ton today, but I think Alonso is slightly better, but they're very, very close. I wouldn't use an extra transfer to transfer Doohan out to Alonso, but both of them are probably going to decrease 0.2 million. I have the same team as you with +1 transfer. Congrats, man, you're ahead of me. Doohan to Alonso and Ocon to Gasly. I would only do one of them. Actually, save for transfer. Again, prepare for Limitless. That's how we play the game. 6 minutes till the deadline, guys. Don't miss it. I've just been here babbling, enjoying my time. If you have nowhere else to be, I will be here watching the qualifying. So you can watch along with me. We'll put F1 dashboard up, watch the circles go around the track. You can sync it up. See my reaction when all my drivers been in the wall. No time set. Should be great. What about Red Bull as second constructor for Limitless this week? I think Ferrari's better. But yeah, I mean, if you're on Limitless this week, I would not go for Mercedes. I would bet against the Delta. So I would go for either Red Bull or Ferrari. But I think Ferrari look better than Red Bull. So for Miami, I'll have 3 transfer preparing for Limitless probably. Yep, seems good. What time is it for you? It is 18:55. 6:55 p.m. It looks very dark because if I have my light on in the background, I get so backlit and my camera can't focus. So I just have to turn the lights off and close the blinds. What do you mean 8? No way. Did you think it was like midnight? Oh yeah, 12:55 a.m. Unlucky. Yeah, it's Central European time here, so it's 7 p.m. I'm convinced Doohan is gonna DNF. Well, considering I've sold him in most of my teams, I sure hope so. That'd be great for me, actually. Do you think Bortoleto or Alonso for team this week? If your intention is fully to prepare, I mean Bortoleto at least is not going to drop in price, but like Alonso could be one of the optimal plays, like one of the optimal cheap drivers next week. So that it's close, but I went for Bortoleto. So that I can have the option to like upgrade. I don't know, anyone to Gasly. Yeah, Australia time zone. I've been there. Literally. Start of the season. 3 minutes. What a stream. Is this what it's like when no one else is streaming? I'm gonna start having to wish ill will on... or... not ill will. What's the word? I'm gonna have to start wishing the other content creators. Whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. Like what? 495 people. The highest I've ever had before is like 250. So that is crazy. Preying on Doohan's and Alonso's downfall. Yep. One thing I'm curious about, right? On my limitless team, I have Norris, Piastri, McLaren, right? Would I gain delta or lose delta if Piastri DNFs? Because on my limitless team I have Norris 2x. Because of how many people there are with Piastri 2x, would I gain delta if Piastri were to DNF? Someone can probably calculate that using the elite data numbers, but I'm not that smart. I'm actually going to text that to F1 Fantasy Tools. Or just put it in the F1 Fantasy Tools Discord. That'd be fun. Alright, let's get dashboard up here. F1 dashboard. Again, if you missed it, tip of the week is prepare for Limitless whenever you want to use it. Let me get the... we have to turn the music off, unfortunately. Because otherwise you will hear the live stream and I will get gigabanned. And we don't want that to happen. Alright, thank you so much for the stream, guys. If you're tuning out, I appreciate you being here the time you were here. We'll see you in the next deadline stream, which is 2 weeks from now. Hopefully everyone can be back.
Plats på första och andra träningen.
Right.
De var 6-7 på tredje träningen. Så
I'm gonna go get some food.
Gå till Q3.
Verkligen imponerande. Men det som oroar alla är ju tidsavstånden som var fram till McLaren i det avslutande träningspasset. Ingen bil var närmare än 6/10. Det var snabbt upp i över en sekund fram till McLaren längst fram. Men jag tror inte ens att McLaren går helt säker från att inte köra misstagsfria varv. De måste också sätta upp allting perfekt, för att annars kan det vara någon som hoppar förbi. Och vi vet ju, det finns ett par, 3 förare.
Also, I'm very, very sorry, Viaplay. Don't sue me. I forgot to turn the audio off for like 2 seconds. I'm very, very sorry. So what's the team you went with? This is the team. Don't ban me, Viaplay, please. It was a mistake, I promise. It was just a little bit of audio for like a minute because I'm stupid and I'm tired and I'm only on 3 hours of sleep. And I've been working for 12 hours today. Please have mercy. I'm gonna have to mute that part of the stream, aren't I? No, my entire stream. Oh no, my entire stream is gonna get demonetized. No. Oh, that's so annoying. I have to like go back in the edit and mute that part, don't I? I'm an idiot. Stupid, stupid idiot. Alright, actually be right back now. Am I banned? I don't think I'm banned. No? What happened? Wait, what did I miss? What did I miss? Or is that a response to me being an idiot? Oh, your incident. Yeah, it's just an incident, okay? It's just an incident in the race. Surely they can't ban me. It's just an incident. I can also remove this now. Yeah, I'm gonna move the mic over here so I don't eat into it. Just me and you. Yep. Did everyone leave? Nah, there's some people here. But it's fine. This is the chill portion of the stream. I'm crashing out as soon as this is over. Generational drop off in viewers, by the way. Never done before. Whatever. Alright. So who's going out then? Stroll, Bortoletto, probably one of the Haas's, Lawson. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Oh, well, let me fix this as well so you can see the time. There you go. Dude, the gyrocam is actually the coolest thing. I don't get the hate. Some people say they dislike the gyrocam. Hard disagree. And you can say what you want about Saudi or like, you know, the Middle East in general when it comes to sports. And, you know, this track is dangerous and whatever, but there's not a single track that looks this good at night. And that's a fact. The helicopter shots of this track at night are something else, man. Oh. That's just a plastic bag on track. Hello? Also, my adjustment destroyed this. Classic. This was so good. Red flag incoming. Wouldn't it be so funny if the only red flag during the qualifying was due to a plastic bag on track? It wasn't some small plastic bag though, that was a full trash bag. Oh, Ferrari in the way? No? I have high hopes for Behrman this weekend. He was good last year in the Ferrari. But I'm fine with Haas qualifying low. You know, there's not that much potential for overtakes on this track, sure. But at least there could be some DNFs and they could climb in positions that way. Or they have good race pacing and can undercut people. Behrman 10th. Sainz 9th. Yeah, same. Ooh. Bonk. Ouch. Hamilton is on old softs, right? I think so. 18th currently. 10th. Could that be enough? Probably needs to get a better. I think that's not good enough of a banker for Hamilton. Like, he probably needs to go out on fresh softs. Doesn't this look like the most banked Norris pole of all time? Alright. Quick scram. Alright, circle thingy is not working, of course. F1 dashboard tends to do that from time to time. Okay. Sorry about that. There we go. Circle thing is back. Now, okay, so this is kind of what I talked about during the stream. A lot of people asked me about Williams, and they're just not clearly the strongest, fastest, the clearly the strongest, fifth fastest team enough yet, if that makes sense, right? Like, sure, Albon is good, but like, oh, oh, oh no, they forgot them. Ay, 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 Alpine, what are you doing? That's fun. I don't think I've seen that actually. Failed to pull the tire warmer off. Just joined. What did your team end up being? This is my team. Gotta be quick or you miss it. Nah. I posted it on Twitter as well. I have Limitless on my highest ranked team though. So I sold Norris, and now Norris is going to be pole sitter, fastest lap, driver of the day, 65 points, guaranteed. By the way, everyone's favorite driver, Gasly, 18th. Could be good. But not where we want him. We want him to be where Albon is. Cheeky P4. You have the same team? Yeah, I think this team is very popular. I'm definitely on the meta bunch for this week on my main team. Would love Bortoletto starting P20, to be fair. Had your 10th ahead of Hamilton. Oh, Verstappen fastest. Absolute cinema. Sainz 7th. Oh, yellow flag. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, we're fine. Lawson ahead of Hadjar. 100th of a second. Alright, here comes Gasly. I mean, the Gasly owners ideally want to see like a P5 type time here. Oh, that's a hit on the wall with Gasly. Does he lose time? 9th place, still a, improvements. Hamilton's 15th, Behrman's 10th. That's probably safe for Behrman. Hamilton. Someone is gonna get blocked, like guaranteed. There's no way we get through an entire qualifying in Jeddah without a block. Hamilton, yeah, I think Hamilton's fine. Stroll's out. Doohan's out. Hamilton's 9th. Okay, he's safe. Hadjar might be out in Q1. Is Ocon still on a lap? Yeah, Ocon's gone. Okay, yeah, it's done then. That's really good. Bortoleto lost. Love that. Block or... Oh no, this was the yellow flag. Unlucky. Oh, it was Bortoleto. The graphics said Hulkenberg, but it was Bortoleto. That's good though. I mean, Bortoleto 20th, we love it. Ocon 19th, I still have him, love it. Duo owners 17. I mean, it's at least Q1. It's not a Q2 exit, but with Gasly's pace, you would have hoped that he at least could have had an opportunity to score points, like actual points, this race. That doesn't look likely now. Stroll 16th. I just sold him, so I don't care. Hey, my F1 predict came through, though. I did say he was going to go out in Q1. What's going on with Ocon? He's about to be the GOAT asset of F1 Fantasy this year. Out in Q1 every single time. Points every single race. Easy 22 pointer on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Yeah, Ocon's been really bad in qualifying so far this year. By the way, that's 17 cars within a second. Can we talk about that? Duan was 0.9 away from Verstappen. So that's 17 cars within 1 second, which is insane. What happened here? Cheeky block. Oh, that could... Albon's lucky that did not end up like Tsunoda in practice yesterday. Bonk. Solid hit, actually. Tsunoda hit it way less than that, and he ended up in the wall with a broken car. Lucky from Albon there. That's all that happened. No, this is kind of like what I talked about with Ocon versus Gasly. It's like Ocon, like neither Ocon or Gasly looks super likely to increase in price this race, and sure, Gasly looks better for point here, but Ocon just looks like such a good long-term hold, both points and budget-wise, because even if he loses budget this race, he's very likely to only decrease point 2, and especially now that he's starting 19th. You know, the Haas has good race pace. Watch him just undercut 2-3 cars with a decent strategy from Haas. They've had pretty good strategy recently, you must admit that. I think Ocon is just such a good asset overall that like I'm hesitant to use a transfer to swap him out. And sure, he's probably going to have a DNF crash stinker like he usually has, but you never know. Also, surely it's time for Carlos Sainz to start actually getting some points in this Williams car. And I know he's not pointless, but it feels like he's pointless. Sainz in the Williams is not pointless. Sainz in the Williams has, I think, only scored 1 point, and that was after disqualifications from Ferrari. Dude, like, Sainz is going to be such a good F1 fantasy asset in 2 races' time. Once we get to... I think that, honestly, that might be an upside to using the Limitless in this race or in Miami. Because then in Imola, you can buy Carlos Sainz when his DNF is gone for like 9 point something million or whatever. What's... yeah, here we go. Carlos Sainz in 2 races. I think Carlos Sainz is dropping 0.6 million in the next 2 races. almost guaranteed. Maybe in Miami if he has a really good point score, but Carlos Sainz could be at 9.5 million come Imola, which is just absolutely mental. But the kind of like what I expected then. I predicted Stroll, I predicted Doohan, I predicted Bortoletto, I predicted one of the Haas's, and I said Lawson. So I guess I only had like one incorrect prediction out of who was going out in Q1. So I'll definitely take that. Oh, they're checking track limits for Stroll. Maybe someone's done they saw what happened to Hulkenberg getting dropped last time, so they're like, no, let's stay in the car. Oh. How many, dude? I missed I missed so many team submissions. I feel so bad every time because like people join the Discord and they post their teams, but it's impossible. You can only do so much. Yeah, I know, but like, I'm also used to from last year, or at least end of last year. The streams were usually like 150 people, so the team submissions only ended up being like 25 of them, and that was like manageable. It was actually less. It was like 15 to 20, which was manageable. You'll need to automate team submissions. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of a way to do it now. We did have a little bit of a system here, but I also don't want to do the team submissions for too long. Like, if I sit and do team submissions for 2 hours, like people will not watch that. Yeah, a lot of teams are the same. Maybe you can summarize. Yeah, that's kind of what we're doing now. At least similar to it. I had Celtic, who's always here. He went through during the first hour. He went through and tagged all of the submissions with like who he thought would, if it was something different, he tagged it with a cooking emoji, right? So that they're cooking, and then if it was the he had a tag for the meta team, so I knew when it was the meta team, and some additional tags that made it easier to see, which made it easier to skip. But yeah, it's just I would probably need like a proper like team to look over it and summarize it. But I'd also know people like having their personal teams. This is my team, my strategy, and every team is a little bit different, at least like where you are, where you come from. Even if you end up with the same team, budget is different, so that might impact things because you might want to stay flexible. So like someone with a lower budget, it might be more optimal to go for Bortoletto instead of going for Alonso, whereas the team with more budget can afford to go for Alonso and not lose that flexibility. So things vary from team to team, and I mean I'm sure there's a half automated system we could work out that would work better with it, but for now For now, this is probably the best way. I mean, eventually we'll probably reach a point where, like, it's just gonna be the members, right? But yeah, that is an option now. I need to get some pop-ups so I know when, like, someone actually becomes a member, because I don't have that now. Yeah, personal advice is huge. It really, really matters, because I see that as well, because there might be a certain circumstance of a certain team that I have not even considered someone might be in. If Alonso reaches Q3, would it be likely he reaches his budget gain? Probably not. Unless he's like, you know, P3 or something. What does he need? He needs... Alonso needs... 9 points. If he's like P8, maybe. But like, I don't think Alonso's hitting 15 at all. So like, best case scenario for Alonso is a 9-pointer. Oh, sorry, we're not on F1 Dash. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, there's probably a better way to do it, but this is all I've got for now. Especially considering it's free, right? If someone pays for it, I of course prioritize them. But considering it's a free service, like I feel like I can't do too much. And again, kind of like what I talk about, is that Red Bull Racing Mega? No, it's just Max Verstappen being Mega. Don't fix what ain't broke. Yeah, true. And again, I'm not going to change it to like going through every team just to get through every team. I still enjoy talking more about one team than the rest. Yeah, the Ferrari's just not there at all. Sonoda between Leclerc and Hamilton. Like an actual time from Sonoda. Norris, yup. Top. Hey, can we just talk about current top 5? That's my limitless. That's my limitless. Would love that. Yeah, I mean, don't fix what ain't broke is a fair statement, but there's a lot of things I want to fix with the stream, right? By the way, those of you who are here now, music in the background, yay or nay? I think I like it. Obviously, we can't have it now because then we would hear other things that play on my computer. But I think it's been fun, right? More of a vibe. Yaw. I mean, between Norris and Piastri, maybe we should actually... Oh. Wow. Whoa. Okay, so can we talk about how Norris just got like a giga toe from Piastri and still is only 500s ahead of Verstappen? I feel like one thing that we've seen so far this season between Norris and Piastri, it's been kind of obvious when they are comfortable in the car, like compared to each other, right? Last weekend, I should have gone for Piastri. Like, I just went for Norris because I didn't want to do the transfer, right? But Piastri looked better than Norris all weekend, and lo and behold, he ended up being better. That was that Verstappen jump right there looked like that jump you do in Mario Kart. You know, that tiny jump you do where you like click the bottom ones and like spin. That was a solid hit. Do you have a second account where you use Limitless? Yes. Yes, I do. That is the account I started after my terrible Australia. It's actually my highest ranked team, and I started it in China, which is crazy. It's ahead of all of my teams on my main account. I did it just as a test, but like it's ahead. It's crazy because it's ahead on the global leaderboard, so it's ahead on points. It's ahead on budget by like 2 million, and it still has the Limitless. Oh, it still has the wild card, but now I use the Limitless on it, so it's just ahead of everything. But it feels kind of cheap to switch it. I'll only switch it if like it actually becomes a competitive top 10k team. I'll like maybe start featuring it. For now, I'm gonna use it as a stream team that I only really talk about in the streams and not really mention in my videos. Because it's kind of fun to try and salvage that absolute dumpster fire of a team that I had after Australia, which is what I'm trying to do. If I can recover that to 10k, I can actually do anything. So for now, it's just a stream team, and then like if I for some reason like end up top 5k with another team, I'll start talking about it at the end of the season. But I think after this race, I'll do like a season so far what I think of F1 Fantasy 2025 so far type video. I don't know what I would title it to make people actually click on it, but I kind of want to talk about the season so far and like what the predominant, what the meta is going to be like for the rest of the season. Because I think there's a lot of interesting things to talk about regarding that. And that's probably a video where I could discuss that team. Alright. Who will be out then? Behrman, Hadjar, Alonso, Lawson. Is it going to be the first time this season where we only have five teams in Q3? Both Williams make it through? Haven't seen that so far this season. I feel bad for Sainz. I feel bad too, but I love it for me personally, my selfish reason of him being an amazing F1 fantasy option soon, which is really gonna aid those of us with good budgets. Because like if you have good budget, you can fit in like Gasly plus Sainz in a meta team, whereas if you don't have good budget, you can only pick one of them. And I do think like come Imola or Monaco, I think Sainz is going to be like must have some team. Well, not must have, but a really, really, really good option. I could realistically see Sainz drop to below 9 million. Like that wouldn't even be that surprising. The problem with Sainz though is that like he DNF'd in the first race, and then he was fine for 2 races, and then he DNF'd in the 4th race. So he has never been in an opportunity to increase in price so far this season because he's always had a DNF looming over him, which is crazy. Is Albon not making another lap? Okay, no, he's going out now, right? But is Albon just staying in the pits? I think Albon's not making another lap. Norris and Albon are staying in. Interesting. Didn't expect Albon to do it. Maybe they think they're good enough. Antonelli 5th. Are they just saving tires, right? Maybe they're like, okay, well, we only have old tires left. We might as well just stay inside. Williams disaster class. No, if they don't want to use another set of fresh softs, they might as well stay in, right? Sainz is 6th. But let's see if Gasly can get above Albon. Like, what? I'm really confused, though. I feel like they should have gone out at least. Like, at least try it. Where is Gasly? There he is. Hadjar 11th is out. Lawson 10th ahead of Hamilton. But here comes Gasly. Leclerc improves, but only above Sainz. Hamilton above Albon. It's Gasly, Tsunoda, or Albon that's gonna be out. No, Tsunoda's out. Tsunoda's out. Tsunoda's still on his lap though, but Gasly's above, so it's Albon or Tsunoda. Alonso, nope. Alright. Can Tsunoda beat Albon? Tsunoda. Yep. Wow. Good lap. Albon 11th. Williams disaster class. Oof. 6 teams in Q3. Still not a 5-team Q3. Albon goes out in 11th. Oh, 7 thousandths of a second out. That's insane. Oh. Wow, wow, wow. Sainz out qualifies Albon. Yep. Lawson out-qualified Hadjar, to be fair. I mean, credit where credit is due. Albon about to have another crash out. Yup. Tsunoda and Antonelli improving week on week. So are they A minus or B plus tier now? I mean, Antonelli is A minus, Tsunoda is B plus, I suppose. I will say I've been impressed by Antonelli's consistency. Sorry that I'm a bit quiet now. I'm trying to fix something. How's this? Hamilton's days are numbered. That sucks. That sucks. Maybe you're right. Where are the 34 other shadows? I mean, most people just lurk, right? Hamilton's days are numbered. I wouldn't count him out yet. To be fair, like it is a new team, new car, new everything for him, and he did win the sprint, so he still has something to give. But, and to be fair, like it's not like Leclerc hasn't even gotten a podium yet this season. Hamilton just ruined my album pick. Lol. Unlucky. I think once Ferrari come with upgrades and Leclerc start getting poles and wins and podiums again, if Hamilton is then not there, then maybe we can start talking about it, but I think it's too early to say. Yeah, exactly. Ferrari just haven't been great yet, so Like, sure, Hamilton has been behind Leclerc, but it's not by that much. And he won the sprint, so. Yeah, by the way, Norris has only used 2 sets of tires during this qualifying session.
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, it would be sad, but you know, you can't count Hamilton out yet.
Whoa. Dude, this onboard with Piastri is insane. This track is mental. And look, like, Verstappen just shows up out of nowhere. Wow. This track is insane. That's all I can say. There's really nothing I can say. Check the floor, says Russell. Russell fastest in... Whoa. Oh, wait. Red flag. Wait, no! Norris in the wall! No! No. No, no, no. 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 Oh, no. Norris. Oh, no. My Limitless is in the mud. Oh. Oh, yeah, it's where Verstappen did that skip as well. Takes way too much curb. Way too much curb. Dude, and he's been flawless this entire weekend. And when it actually matters... Dude, this is just... Oh, dude, it's the Norris story that just keeps on. It's always like this, man. He again, he used 2 sets of tires. He's just 2 perfect laps. Top of Q1, top of Q2. Oh. Well, maybe he can gain some positions in the race. Oh no. Who's winning then? Who takes pole? I think, I mean, Norris doesn't win the race now. Right? This opens the door. Christ. Wow, wow, wow. There are overtakes on this track. That's the problem. Think of the overtakes. What overtakes? Oh, now Piastri just wins. Oh no. I can't believe that. I can't believe that, man. No. No. McLaren will be fine. Like, he gets no negatives for this crash. It's just that he starts P10. No. Yeah, Piastri gets to keep the banker. Norris will drive the day tomorrow, calling it. I mean, maybe. Final fix? You can't final fix if you're limitless. Then you don't final fix Norris in. No one has the budget for that. Wow, wow, wow. Piastri might lose his time. Piastri might lose his time. I'm sure Red Bull will complain. How bad of a crash was it? Not the worst. I mean, he didn't smash the car, but he overshot the curb and had a big snap, and then front left wheel got demolished. But like the car's fine. If you have Norris final fix whoever gets P1 today, yeah. If you have Norris 2x on a regular team, I would probably final fix whoever gets P1. I think that could be the play, honestly. It depends though, because like maybe McLaren have enough pace in the car to actually, go far with it. And like if you final fix in Piastri, everyone has Piastri, so what's the point? I have Piastri 2 is McLaren constructed with Merc. Yeah, that's everyone has that team. That's the meta team, so you're fine. Alright, track clear. We go again. I think final fix depends, like, because maybe you hope if anyone can do overtakes on this track is the McLaren, right? But would you final fix, say Leclerc got pole, would you actually final fix Norris to Leclerc? I don't think so. Now, I'm not saying Hamilton is gonna. I'm not saying Leclerc is gonna get pole, but like, you know what I mean. I think final fix is fine. Final fix is pretty good on 2x, but overtakes are hard on this track. But like, it's not like there's 0 overtakes. And if the McLaren's that fast and it's gonna be a 2-stopper, there could be undercut possibilities. But I would imagine Norris probably has a P5, P4. If Verstappen gets pole, it's a no-brainer to fix him in? I think so, yeah. Not a no-brainer, you still have to think about it. But if I was on my previous team with Norris on 2x, I probably would have final fixed Verstappen in if Verstappen gets pole, I'm going to be honest. That seems like a play. Big differential as well. Yeah, so not a no-brainer, but like a good. I would do it if I was in that position. But the only team I have Norris 2x on is on my limitless team, so that's just unlucky. But we gotta pray for overtakes, I suppose. Max Verstappen's fast. Here comes Max.
Are you kidding me? What do you... What? Max! Oh my god. Are you kidding me?
1,000th of a second. Max is disgusting, man. What a filthy, filthy man. There's no way. There's actually no way. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Four minutes ago. Does Max have time for another lap? I think so. I mean, at least that crash makes it interesting, no? Because it felt like Norris was just the default pole sitter, and now it could be Verstappen, it could be Piastri, it could be Russell. I don't think Leclerc has a shot, but like realistically, Verstappen, Piastri, Russell, it's anyone's game. Yeah, Piastri's been like 2/10 slower than Lando all weekend. And that's approximately where the rest of the people have been. Oh, what a first sector by Russell, man. Russell might take pole here. Russell might do it. He might just do it. Wow, 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 wow. Dude, Russell's on an absolute monster here. Absolute monster lap. Hey, Russell's taking pole. Yeah, wow, yeah, Max did that with extra fuel in the car. But, I mean, Russell's taking this, no? Not the best final sector, but Russell cooked. I will say Russell cooked. But Piastri looks fast as well. I mean, Piastri's capitalizing on this. Teammates gone. Grab the 25 points. Leave? What a robbery. No one saw it coming. I'm the number one driver now, says Oscar Piastri as he steals pole from Lando Norris. Oh, nope. Piastri's behind. Piastri's behind. Oh my god. Here comes Max. Here comes Max. Here comes Max. No, there's no way. Oh, what a quality, dude. Oh, Piastri. Oh, okay. Oh, what a final sector. What a final sector by Piastri. He's up by a tenth. Verstappen. Oh, Verstappen's up on Piastri in the second sector, but after the second sector, but that final sector that is McLaren's sector. Max. Are you kidding me, man? Wow. Signs up to 6th? Hello? Let's go. Dude. Oh my god, dude, Max is too good! This is illegal. This man's actually legal. This is actually just not okay. Hey, I have an emote for this. I have an emote for this exact moment. I cannot believe this just happened. What a quali. What a qualifying, dude. What a quali. Wow. Wow. Oh, Max just came in the car. There's no way that just happened. What a qualifying. Oh, what a qualifying. 0.01. Well, it was not a Max Verstappen less limitless, that's for sure. I'm happy I have it on the limitless, but if you have Norris 2x, I would say you final fix to Max Verstappen. Just do it. Why not? Just do it. Just pop it. Have some fun. Play some chips. Alright, I'm gonna head to bed. What a qualifying. I mean, this season is shaping up to be an all-timer, despite McLaren dominance. Poor Norris, man. I really feel for him. Really feel for Norris, but what can you do about it? What a stream. I mean, how did this happen? 346 likes. Insane. Peak viewership 495. What? How did that even happen? I will be back in 2 weeks' time. Will be even later then, because it's Miami. So it will be at like 10 p.m. something like that. European time. I can't remember exactly when it is, but something like that. But the videos will be up on the channel in the meantime. So subscribe if you haven't. 2,500 subs as well. I thought it would. My goal was to reach it before my birthday in May, but we smashed it halfway through April. Incredible. 3K next. 3K next. Thank you so much for the stream. I'm sorry I was a bit low energy at the end, but yeah, it's been a long day with not a lot of sleep prior to that. So yeah, I'll see you around. Thank you so much for the stream. Bye-bye.